In this video, I want to talk about 7 things that you can do at the mid-year point of your year to hit refresh and totally reset your mind. I actually created this video as a bunch of ideas that I want to implement in my own life to reset for the middle of the year, and I wanted to make it really actionable. So after every point, I'm actually going to have on the screen a list of ways to kick off, to start that particular action. These are pretty immediate, quick action steps that you can take so that you're putting these things into practice. The first thing that you can do to reset is to choose one book that you want to read that focuses on how you want to feel or what you want to bring into your life. You want to find a book that applies directly to whatever it is that you are going through, whether it's emotionally, physically, externally, internally, something that ideally has some good reviews and is actionable. For example, if you want to heal your anxious attachment style, you might read the book Insecure in Love by Leslie Becker. If you want to feel more connected, you might read the book I Thought It Was Just Me by Brene Brown. The key to this isn't just reading the book or finding the book, it's actually taking it and turning it into action. Growth really isn't constantly listening to business podcasts or self-growth videos or reading self-growth books. Growth is listening to something and then taking action on it, reading a book and then applying it, watching something, taking notes, and then doing something about those notes. Consumption does not lead to growth. Consumption followed by action does. The next thing that you can do to reset your mind for mid-year is to take a 1-week break from social media and media in general. So that means TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, as well as Netflix, Stan, Disney Plus, and all of the other platforms that there are. And then find those times in your calendar where you would usually be watching TikTok or watching Netflix and schedule in activities that make you feel inspired and that make you feel motivated instead. There is absolutely nothing wrong with social media or Netflix or any of the other platforms so long as you feel that you're in control of your use of it. But if you keep on telling yourself you're going to practice a night routine, you are going to start reading that book, you're gonna start journaling, but then you end up scrolling through Instagram or on your Twitter, watching 2 episodes of a show instead of reading your book, then it might be time to take control of your social media and media habits. Social media can be a numbing tool, so you'll find that if you are stressed, if you're sad, if you are overwhelmed, you're probably going to lean on social media and other forms of media more than you usually would. But then it becomes this cycle because you're stressed, you're overwhelmed, you're sad, and then you're using social media more, and that's making you more stressed and more overwhelmed and more sad. So if you are in a state where you feel like you're overusing social media, and it might be as a result of how you feel in your day-to-day or about your life, then take a week to reset and replace the times where you would usually lean on social media to lean on other things that will actually make you feel a little bit better, that will counteract the stress, the sadness, or the overwhelm, whatever it is that you might be going through. If you are bored, schedule in time to learn something new. If you are feeling sad, schedule in time to connect with the people that you love, instead of defaulting to consuming media. The next idea that you can use to reset for the middle of the year is to plan in a favorite things day. A favorite things day is a ritual that I like to plan into my quarters, my months, and it's a day where you fill it with all of your favorite things. Your favorite things are often much more simple than you probably realize if you haven't intentionally thought about them. Your favorite thing could be a coffee in bed of a morning, sleeping in a little bit, getting yourself in nature, watching a sunset, eating your favorite takeaway. They're often nothing radical, they're just like life's little happy moments. And a favorite things day is just combining all of those little things and putting them into a day. If you don't know what to put into your favorite things day, think about what you value and start to plan in activities based around those values. Because usually things that you value are always going to be things that are your favorite things. So if you value connection, you could plan in a picnic with your friends. If you value freedom, you could create a list of your favorite things and then pick from those things throughout the day depending on how you feel in the moment. If you value learning, take yourself to the park and learn some watercolor. If you are taking a social media sabbatical, it's also the perfect week to schedule in your favorite things day. Because not only are you gonna have all of these cozy, happy, enjoyable moments that make you feel really good, you're also going to feel really present while you are in those moments. You're gonna be very much there and not half in your phone and half on the activity at hand. Another way to refresh for your mid-year is to write down the ultimate guide to your unhappiness. This is one of my most liked posts from the last year. It's just a picture of me in the mirror, but the caption is what people were drawn to, and that is the ultimate guide to my unhappiness. The ultimate guide to my unhappiness includes being too busy to take time to learn and to take time to read, waking up late every single day, doing a lot of networking and no connecting, lots of talking about doing things and no doing things. This is really a mini anti-visioning exercise. It is really simple and easy for you to do, and you can do it for any area of your life. You could write the ultimate guide to my unhappiness in my friendships, the ultimate guide to my unhappiness in my relationship, the ultimate guide to an unhappy morning for me, the ultimate guide to an unhappy evening for me. You can apply it to every single area of your life, and you're always going to uncover something or get clarity on something that you already knew. So for me, by acknowledging that not reading and not learning is going to contribute to my unhappiness, it really says to me that I need to integrate reading and learning as a part of my daily routine, even if that is just reading 10 pages of a book each day. By acknowledging that not connecting with my friends and my family on a pretty regular basis will lead to my unhappiness, that shows me that in my weekly planning routine, I need to have a step that says, okay, plan in some connection in your week. By identifying what will inevitably lead to your unhappiness, the things that you already know will lead to your unhappiness, you can then take those things, create systems for them, put them into your routine. This is one of my favorite activities to do, so much so that I revisit it quite regularly, and I also included a probably more extended version of it in my Skillshare class. This is a class with 4 exercises to create clarity and to create motivation. I'm gonna have it linked down below. Skillshare is the sponsor of today's video. And it is also a perfect place to kick off any kind of learning journey that you might have now that you're at this mid-year point and you're sort of re-evaluating. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creators. Explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in creativity. There are classes on productivity for creatives, mastering Instagram, YouTube success, video editing, creating art in Procreate, journaling, and so much more. Lately, I've been watching the class Productivity for Creators. This is by Thomas Frank, who is a YouTuber. And one of the points that he mentioned in his class that really resonated with me, it was sort of a reminder of something I already knew, was placing constraints around your creativity. He talked about how he created a video on the 1-hour morning routine, and his creative constraint was to make that video in the style of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. And having that creative constraint gave him a bunch of inspiration for that video. I really like the idea of creative constraints because sometimes when you've been doing the same thing for a little while, adding constraints truly just makes things more engaging. It's a way to make things a little bit more fun. Skillshare is curated specifically for learning. That means that there are absolutely no ads, and they are always launching new, really high quality premium classes so that you can stay focused and follow wherever your creativity takes you. And it's less than $10 a month with an annual subscription. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description below will get a free trial of premium membership so that you can explore your creativity. The next thing that you can do to reset for mid-year is to update your productivity systems. And by productivity systems, what I mean is how you capture ideas, thoughts, and tasks, how you organize ideas, thoughts, and tasks, how you plan to take action on ideas, thoughts, and tasks, and how you actually make sure that you take action on ideas, thoughts, and tasks. To walk you through how exactly to do that would truly take an entire video. I'm gonna direct you towards 2 videos that I've made in the past that are all about organizing your mind, organizing your tasks in a way that makes you more productive. The first video is how to organize your mind and get things done. And the second video shows you my productivity system, how I organize my life in Notion. I'm going to have those 2 videos linked down in the description. If you don't have any systems set up to capture, to organize, to plan, and to take action, it's time now to create those systems. And if you do have systems set up, evaluate those systems and ask yourself what isn't working. If you find that you're not actually capturing all of the ideas that come to mind because you don't always have access to your phone, what can you do to make sure that you're still capturing, even when your phone isn't there? If your weekly reset keeps on getting missed because you think it's annoying, it's cumbersome, it's too long, can you split it in half? Can you reduce how much you do in it? Can you work a little bit on it every single day so at the end of the week it's not so big and painful? For a new season, we create a new playlist. Environmental changes signify change. So if you move houses, your brain is like, okay, change, like time to reset. Let's get productive or do things differently. If you maybe get a new car, sometimes that can signify change. If you change the setup of your room, that can signify change. But sometimes you just don't have the ability to create that significant of an environmental change in your life. We can't all move house every 6 months, but something that you can do is update your playlist, which will definitely signify change. If you are a person who listens to playlists to wake yourself up, maybe you listen to a playlist in the car or when you're making dinner, freshen that playlist up, or ideally create a whole new playlist filled with songs that match the vibe that you really want to bring in to the rest of your year. Alongside that, create a whole new playlist filled with all of the podcasts that you would like to listen to. Ideally, match those podcasts up with the things that you're working on in your life. So if you are starting an e-commerce business, add in a bunch of podcast episodes all about learning to start an e-commerce business. Or if you are creating a YouTube channel, fill that playlist with podcasts all around creating a great YouTube channel. 3 podcasts that have episodes that will definitely end up on my playlist are Simplify. They always have just great high quality episodes. They're usually with authors, so people who are experts in their field. I think that's why I like that podcast so much. The Old Boys Club is a new one that I heard from Shameless. I'm not kidding when I've talked about how much young people need something like this for so long, and I'm so glad that this resource now exists. It's 2 young people talking about Australian politics in a way that is relatable and understandable, which is something that somehow has not existed for so long, and it blows my mind how inaccessible politics has felt as a young Australian, and how much the resources that are available are filled with jargon that makes it really difficult to feel like you can really understand what's going on in Australia. And a new favorite podcast, What Is It All For, which is a business podcast all about creating an intentional business. I really enjoy this podcast. It's by a couple who also run Wandering Aimfully. I just really enjoy their approach to business, and I think that it's an approach that is often talked about when applied to life, but not often talked about when applied to creating your business, and that needs to be discussed more. The next way to refresh your life for the mid-year is to do a 1-week sleep reset. This is very applicable if you are someone who stays up watching TikTok, goes to sleep at different times every night, finds yourself sleeping in, but then sometimes maybe waking up a little bit earlier, and your sleep is just at a confusing state right now. According to Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker, 2/3 of adults worldwide do not get the recommended 8 hours of sleep a night. Humans are literally the only species that deprive ourselves of the sleep that we need. And studies have shown that more sleep makes you physically more attractive and look healthier. One of the best ways to get more sleep is to go to sleep at the same time every single day and to wake up at the same time every single day, making sure that you are getting at least between 7 to 9 hours of sleep. If you aren't waking up and going to sleep at the same times every single day, take a week to just intentionally work on that specific habit, to get yourself into a consistent sleep routine. It is one of the most impactful self-care habits that you can work on. If you get your sleep down, a lot of other things will fall into place naturally. Just for a week, do the whole no screens for 2 hours before bed that we all know that we should do, but we simply don't like doing. Stick to the same sleep schedule and reset your mind. If you liked this video and you are looking for more ways to reset, I recently created a video called 10 ways to reset for a new month. A lot of those things you can definitely apply to mid-year resetting as well. Some of them I'd probably take them and then make them just a little bit more intense for a mid-year reset. But like I said, I like resetting at multiple times throughout the year. I'm going to have that video linked on the screen as well as down below. I appreciate you so very much, and I will see you soon.